You want to know how to improve work efficiency and increase employee motivation? I've got you. By the end of this video, you are going to be ready to get top performance from your people every single day with a minimal amount of friction. I'll share with you how you can know specifically what will motivate each one of your individual team members. I'm going to give you a quick and easy to use framework that will help you discover those individual motivations quickly and comfortably. And I'll share with you how you can lift people's motivation and efficiency at the same time. The foundation of answering this question is to accept the fundamental truth at the heart of professional motivation, which is that people work to get the life they want. That's the give to get of it. They probably care about your company, their employer, meeting your goals. But I guarantee you it is not what they care about most. What they care about most is getting the life they want from the work they give. And so if you want to know how to increase their motivation and improve their efficiency, you need to find out what are the details of the life they want to live. And the most effective way of finding something out from someone is to ask them. So I'm going to give you a model that you can use to walk through that. Also, just so you know, this model is walked through in detail in my book, Desire-Based Leadership. And you can find that on my website and on Amazon and other places where you buy books. So, in that it is true that motivation happens when someone knows they can get what they want from a situation that they're giving something to. The key is to find out what they want. And in this case, to find out what your team members want for their life, because that's why they're working. So what I did is, in my first experiences as a leader, like most leaders, I had to generate a huge result in a short period of time with a minimal amount of resources. And so I just common sensed it one day. I sat down and I asked myself, what's the best way to get what I need most from someone? So, oh, well, it's to give them what they want most. And then I thought, okay, well then what do people want most from their employment? They want to get the life they're trying to build for themselves and their loved ones. So when I would interview job candidates, or when I would get to know people I'd inherited on my team, I would say, hey, as much as you're comfortable, this is totally voluntary, but if you want to tell me about the life you're trying to get, I'll honestly tell you if you can get it here. And so over time, the answers that they gave to me in those conversations fell into 4 key buckets: lifestyle, income, feelings, and employment. L-I-F-E. So I call it the life motivation model. When you use the life motivation model, the first thing you do is you ask them a set of questions that basically tell you the details of the life they're trying to get in those 4 key areas. An example I can give you is from my own life. I live in New York City. I've lived there for over 15 years now. I want to live there for the rest of my life. So one of my lifestyle components is that I want to be able to have New York City be my home or my home base for the rest of my life. After you have that conversation with them and you fill out what's called the life motivation profile, then on your own, as a leader, you look at that profile and you ask yourself, what would I have to give them in order for them to be able to get this life from the work they're doing for me and my business? An example is, if I want to be able to stay in New York City as home base for the rest of my life, you would need to give me a career path at your business that allowed me to stay in that market, either because there were in-person roles that were available up a promotional path, or because you would allow me to work without relocation by staying in New York but climbing the corporate ladder. That's what you would have to give me to maintain access to the privilege of my top performance. Another very clear-cut example, not for me, but for a lot of people, someone might say, I want to retire when I'm 60 or when I'm 55. You'd have to ask yourself, can I give them enough money at a fast enough rate to satisfy that desire? Then, after you've made that assessment, what you want to do is get honest. Honestly look at it and say, can I give them this? If you can, great. That's party time. Because they're going to be able to get what they want most from the job they have, which means you're going to get their top performance every single day with a minimal amount of friction. But if it's the reverse, if you discover, oh gosh, I can't give this to them, here's what you should expect. You should expect them to realize it, if they haven't already. And once they realize it, you should expect them to disengage. You should expect their performance to dip. And if you can't fix it, you should expect them to leave. And that's going to give your business the cost of replacing them, which is usually around 150% of their salary on average. So if you can't give them the life they want, the best thing you can do is tell them. Tell them quickly. Not only is it just good humanity and respectful leadership, it also will allow you to start the process of helping them move on to an environment that can give them what they want in a positive and quick manner. That's going to be to their benefit, and it's going to be to yours. Now, motivation and efficiency, they often go together, and in this case, they absolutely do. The good news for us as leaders is it's a 2-for-1, because if you increase someone's motivation by making sure they know they can get the life they want from the job they have, they will naturally become more efficient in their work. They will have a greater sense of their own momentum. They'll become more autonomous. They will need less daily support from you. There'll be less operational cycles. That is the definition of efficiency. And less labor and less operational cycles means less operational cost. That's financial efficiency. So if you want to lift efficiency, lift motivation, and you will hit both birds with the same stone. Now, we know that a promotion is one of the best ways to increase motivation and help somebody get the life they want from the work they do. But what do you do when you need to motivate an employee who didn't get a promotion? Well, I've got some answers for you on that. You can click the link in the description of this video, and it'll take you to my video answering that question of how do you motivate an employee who did not get a promotion. It's going to give you some insights and some tactics that'll really help you effectively navigate that sticky situation. I'll see you there.